make certain portions of the song pop by layering or adding enough effects to them in just like the intro or just the verse or just the chorus. Really think of this as a producer's version of a stomp box or a guitar pedal. Guitar players, bass players use these all the time in the real world, but I think we as a lot of producers forget that you have the ability to turn on an effect in the middle of a portion. Hey guys, it's Evan from Stock Music Musician. Just wanted to let you know that I've got a free sample pack download. There's a link down below. Go get those sounds. They're yours to do with whatever you want with. Enjoy them. All right, let's get back to the middle of a portion or a section. So this is basically just an example of how I did this on bass on a track. I think bass is really a good instrument for considering this technique because often the bass sits in the background and it isn't supposed to really be noticeable. You feel it more than you hear it, but you can use this to really distinguish between sections by applying an effect to the bass as the song changes up parts. So we're going to listen to this song. The intro section here, these two lines are the bass and the bass copy. So you'll hear at the beginning it sounds really like a synthesizer. Then it goes towards sounding more like a regular bass. And then when we get back into the chorus, it sounds kind of like an edgy bass. And we'll get into how we do that, but let's just take a quick listen. There's no synth spline, it's just all the bass and guitar, drums. Not much more of a regular bass sound, right? Here it comes again. Okay, so how did I make that sound? Well, the first thing I did is I just clicked on the bass track, hit duplicate, and created an identical copy, which Reason automatically, for some reason, decides to call bass copy. Go figure. And this will have all of the same settings on it, and it will duplicate the waveform. Now, there's other ways you could do this, but I think this tends to be the easiest because here I can just directly see the waveform, and I've used the razor tool up here, the R button, to just select the sections I didn't want to have playing, and then hit the T and muted out the parts where I didn't want the effect. And for me, that's really quick and easy. Now, you might actually recall that I've used this song previously on a series of lessons for making fat snare drums. So if you want to check that out, I'll put a link up above. But what I want to listen to now is, if you're not interested in fat snare drums, and presumably you're interested in bass effects, what I want to do is actually look at what's going on in these two instruments. First, we'll solo them together. This is the plain bass, and you hear how that just has sort of a synthy, moogie, distorted quality, just a little bit more to punch through. So this is the main bass here. I'm using Guitar Rig 5, which by Native Instruments, which is sort of my go-to amp sim. I think they have a free version of it. This isn't the free version, but this thing's great, so check it out. And this is just a pretty standard bass here. Not a lot of high-end mids and lows. So that's the main clean bass sound. And then for the distorted or the synthesized sound, I've got a compressor, and then I've got a harmonic synthesizer which comes with it, which is creating that synth effect. And then I have a noise reduction unit there because it can get pretty noisy. And then on this bass amp I have almost no low end. It's much more towards the middle and highs. And then finally, it's just pretending like it's a DI, so no speaker simulation. And I don't know if I've done anything. Yeah, so I've also put a high pass filter on to cut out the low ends, sort of just emphasize the part and I've just got a basic high pass filter there. Then to a bass bus. But what I want to also show you guys is the beginning here, right? Listen to this. And that's all bass. That's just bass being synthesized there. And that really helps to distinguish between the sections. So what I'd encourage you to do is definitely experiment with just the concept of having a virtual stomp box at your fingertips. And especially consider using it on bass. It can be a powerful tool for differentiating your sections. You could also obviously put it on guitar, add distortion or anything when it comes to a chorus or verse. But I just kind of wanted to remind you that this is out there, it's available, and show you a really efficient way of doing it in terms of producing and mixing. So I hope you like this. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more great tips, and I'll catch you on the flip side.